So Luka might have a point. There have been some growing pains, Stephen A., but last night was what this team could be at their best, and LA is currently tied with the Knicks for the 5th shortest odds to win the title at ESPN Bet. Luka thinks his team can win a championship. Do you?
I don't, but I'm not definitive about it. After what I saw last night, I was shocked. Let me be the first to apologize to the Los Angeles Lakers. I did not see them being capable of that. I got news for y'all. The Lakers, an NBA best, 14 or 15 and 4 since January 15th. The Denver Nuggets came into the game on a winning streak, averaging 128 points, got held to 100, so they got to play in defense as well. I mean, it's only the second victory for the Lakers against the Nuggets in the last 15 outings. LeBron James looks absolutely sensational. I mean, he's 40 going on 30. It's unreal what I'm seeing. And I'm going to say this right here, right now. J.J. Redick is a candidate for Coach of the Year. He is just doing a hell of a job. And Big Perk enlightened me about how brilliant they are offensively compared to what they were last year. Defensively, not so much, but that wasn't the case last night. If that Los Angeles Lakers team shows up in the postseason, look the hell out. And I'm not going to be mad about having to be in Southern California.
Two big things. One, over the last 18 games, they are the #1 defensive team in the league. Now, it's hard to believe that because Anthony Davis has been gone for most of those. And that is not a relic of AD's team. They're doing it despite being very small in the interior because they're so big on the perimeter, because Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt come in there and give J.J. Redick some options. Secondly, last night, they got Luka to be Luka again. What I mean by that is he wasn't just a ball mover who was trying to play turns with Austin Reeves and LeBron. He said, I'm going to be the dominating force. Everything ran through him last night. This is the way they've got to play. I thought this would be something that would happen later in the season. JJ got him to do it. Last night, he was completely different. His demeanor was different. I'm going to tell you something. Tuesday night, the Mavericks are going to be here. Luka's going to be here.
Luka's going to put on the show.
The Mavericks just gave up 126 points. They're missing their 3 best interior defenders.
Luka's going to put on the show.
They're coming off that big win. Look out.
Mind the game and respect the game. That's exactly what J.J. Redick is doing right now. He's a top 10 coach in the NBA today. I saw a report after the game. He said as soon as they had their win on Thursday against the Portland Trail Blazers, he didn't get hardly any sleep because he started preparing for the Denver Nuggets. And it showed when we watch. And I'm looking at this Laker team, and I'm listening to Luka comments, and they saying that we're here to win a championship. And they could actually go to the NBA Finals if you want to be real about it. Think about it. They're only 2.5 games back from the second seed. 2.5 games back from the second seed. Hold on. With Luka getting in shape, getting his legs up under him, with a LeBron James playing the way that he's playing, a happy LeBron James, it ain't far-fetched. And when you think about the game plan, and this is just, I know it's just been an appetizer, but again, we saw when the Knicks played the Lakers on set, and what J.J. Redick and that system did to Karl Anthony Towns, then we saw it last night. That was Jokic's worst game, in my opinion.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his worst game that I've seen in the last 2 years.
Well, the bigger issue is you and what you point to about defense. The Lakers have been showing up and defending, which is not something we were accustomed to seeing from them this year. And now that's the case. And so I'm looking at them now, and I'm looking at the rest of the Western Conference. We got the youth in OKC, but are you ready? We've got health issues in Dallas. We don't know what the hell is going on in Phoenix. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Denver, we thought that, you know what, they were here elevating, and then they ran into something that they hadn't seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Western Conference right now is vulnerable, and when you see Luka with the ball in his hands, I'm looking at a 40-year-old LeBron James movement without the ball, knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The brother's brilliant. The Lakers with Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, all these brothers. The Lakers are getting very, very, very interesting.
Real quick, I just want to point out the game plan and what J.J. designed last night defensively. He somewhat exposed the Denver Nuggets. If you go back and watch that film and how he guarded Jokic and how he baited those guys into taking threes, that worked into their favor last night. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's something, listen, I'm telling you, that damn J.J., I was wondering and questioning whether he was going to be able to fulfill that role of being a head coach, especially in this first year. damn it, he's doing
one game. Now, if we're looking at them as an individual group, you look at LeBron James and what he's accomplished, you look at Luka and what he's accomplished, you'd have to say yes. But they haven't played together. What about JT and JB? What about Yoke and Murray? I want to see them play, and they look good together last night. I like what JJ did. He staggered their minutes a little bit. They had them on the court. They look really, really good together. We know these are two dominant offensive players in the NBA history. But I got to see them together more than one game. I think Luka only played like 24 minutes. I think LeBron played like 29 minutes. Let me see them get some minutes up under their belt, Stephen A. and Wendy. Let me see them get about 35 minutes. Let me see them in a tough ball game where they're having to play off of each other a lot more than what they did last night. But I'm not really willing to go there just yet. Individually, if you take LeBron's career, you take Luka's career, but you don't get to take them individually and then put them together and say, are they the scariest? I need to see them play a little bit more before I determine whether or not how scary they are.
Yeah. Wendy, I know you were locked in on this one.
Molly, the Lakers do a really good job of making moments feel big. They really lean into who they are at times, and they did a great job here. First off, probably the most important thing, they picked a perfect day for Luka to come back. The Utah Jazz right now are not a competitive NBA team. And so they put him in a position where there was not going to be stress on this game, and it was never a game after the first quarter. I think they did a great job of easing him in. This game doesn't mean anything to me. This was not an important game. They played good. They're on a winning streak. There was way more pressure games to come, but the Lakers passed every single test in bringing Luka in to start his career there.
Stephen A?
All true. Nothing to dispute there. I will tell you that LeBron and Luka, however, when we ask the question, are they the scariest in the West? Of course not yet, but eventually they should be, if they are who we think they are. And let me give some breaking news. Wendy, you can step aside for this one because this is directed at Mr. Shea himself. I have given long, hard thought to this debate that Shannon Sharp and I have been going through. And, it's going to be a long, long spring for him, as I've stated. But I am willing to concede, when we talk about GOAT status, I've decided to declare that LeBron James is truly the GOAT for 40-year-olds. The greatest 40-year-old that the game of basketball has ever seen. You go. So I just want to say that. I just want to say that he's the greatest 40-year-old that anybody has ever seen on a basketball court. And when you think about Luka being 25 years of age, yeah, eventually they should be the scariest. Their basketball IQs are off the chart. We know what they can do on the basketball court. They should be the scariest. But this season, I haven't given up on Jokic and Murray. I have not given up on that at all. I'm going to stand on that for the time being. We can't even say anybody in Dallas with Kyrie and AD. AD already down, okay? I mean, I got to think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and who's his Robin is and stuff like that. That's right, of course, Williams. But I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that right now, it's got to be Jokic and Murray until further notice to answer this question, because we haven't seen how LeBron and Luka will do together.
You see what he did, Molly?
What?
You see what Stephen A. did? Oh, I'll have to admit, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest 40-year-old. It's like when women say, well, Shannon, you're in great shape for a 50-year-old. I'm in great shape for any age. What's wrong with y'all? Talk about I'm in great shape to be 50. Don't do that. Stephen A., don't do that. You know what this man is. You know what he represents. How many consecutive games with at least 20 points at the age of 40? I know somebody could never.
It was a backhanded comment. He put the dig in there.
I know somebody could never. You need to stop your nonsense. You need to stop that nonsense right now. We'll see what Luka and LeBron does. But Wendy, for the purposes of you being here, being the basketball savant that you are, I thought it was apropos that I started off the show today conceding that Shannon was right about something. I'm not going to say that often, but I would concede that he is right about LeBron at 40. Being the greatest 40-year-old we've ever seen. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
AJ never did number. Some of us would get better with age. Wendy?
I gotta give Stephen A. credit bringing the specter of Jordan into this conversation. Like that's bonus point.
Because you know why? Because when you think about the word scary, I mean, who fit that more than Michael Jordan? I mean, what that brother did on the basketball court, he scared the living hell out of all the opposition. There wasn't no hugging and singing Kumbaya with the opponents day after day, night after night, drinking wine with them after the games and all that stuff. Oh, no, it wasn't none of that. What none of that?
He didn't scare Bird, McHale, and Parrish. He didn't scare them. Didn't scare Isaiah and the bad boy Pistons till they got old.
You mean Bird? You mean Bird, who called them God and gym shorts? You mean that Larry Bird? Is that
him?
Okay,
him.
Go ahead. I got all spring to get you with this. It's all right.
But in all seriousness, Shannon, obviously because you are a Lakers fan, how far do you want to see this team go? Like, what are your expectations?
If I'm not mistaken, Wendy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think with 19 losses, I think they're like third in the Western Conference.
I think they're fourth right now.
Fourth, okay. I can see them moving up.
Third in the loss column.
think
that's right.
What'd you say, Wendy?
Tied for third.
Tied for third in the loss column.
Yeah, okay. Tied for third? I can see us being second or third. Hey, you know what that means, Stephen A? That's one thing. Now he got somebody that can take the pressure off him. Luka can go on one of them scoring binges. LeBron can facilitate. Even if both guys are off the court, you still got a ball handling Austin Reeves. Don't say anything.
On this thing.
The Warriors hosting the Dallas Mavericks in this one. Jimmy Butler's home debut here. Again, the Mavericks shorthanded, but first quarter here, Stephen Curry, this is what he does. Steps back, drains the three. And now to the second, Jimmy Butler with a little misdirection. Bucket there. Butler again collecting the loose ball, giving it to Steph, to Buddy Hield. This is the Warriors at their best.
This is the Warriors at their best. When you get out running and you hit them shooters, and Buddy Hield is hitting shot and ain't just leaving the shot-making ability just to Steph Curry.
Well, Jimmy Butler looks like he's having a whole lot of fun in this one. Third quarter now. Steph Curry gets that one to go. Butler and Curry combined for 28 points here in the first half. And then in the third quarter here.
Lord have mercy.
He gave him the night in the third quarter.
Yes, he did.
And he was right.
Steph Curry, once again. Golden State gets the win here. Let's take a listen to Steph on life after the Jimmy Butler trade.
Just trying to develop an identity with this team after the trade, and everybody's trying to figure out their role. We're playing hard, playing with a high level of IQ. You understand what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor. After that ugly first 3 minutes, we settled in, and the ball is moving. Jimmy's making his presence felt. Draymond, orchestrating the offense. Defensively, we're playing well, so just got to keep building. And it's been a good look so far.
How can this, Brian, be sustainable here for the Golden State Warriors? Because they've looked pretty good with Jimmy Butler.
Well, they're in a tough spot in the standings because they had a rough December and January, but they are still time, and there's still maneuverability in the West. And if they can somehow, the goal, and Steve Kerr has said this, get to sixth. Get to sixth, because last year they didn't make it through the play-in. So if they can get to sixth, they like their chances with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, and I respect it. We'll see how this next month and a half goes.
We'll see. I mean, listen, there's a lot of experience. When you talk about a Lakers team, you talk about a Denver team and stuff like that, game slows come playoff time. You never know how that could work against them, considering that they're relatively small or thin on their front line. But I got to tell you something. When I see some of the inexperienced teams that may be talented but inexperienced, and I think about Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond being able to get at them, Golden State's very interesting and very, very scary because they're shot makers.
What Jimmy Butler does, he gives this organization a chance to compete for a championship. That's what he brings immediately. And what he brought, when you get that extension, they alleviated any need for him playing for contract or anything like that. He's only playing for wins. You see, he's not playing for shots. He's shooting a very low amount of shots per game. He's efficient from free throw, but he's guarding. There was a play the other night. He was guarding literally 1 through 5 on any given possession. And I know I saw what Brian said on the countdown earlier about the honeymoon period, and he does feel like this organization is better than any other organization he's been a part of. But I'm telling you, it's different this time. I haven't sensed the same feeling he's had when he went to Philly, when he went to Miami. This is different for Jimmy Butler going to Golden State. He's staying late for shoot-arounds. He's staying late for practices. He's spending so much time in the training room, the meal room. He's going above and beyond to ingratiate himself with the Warriors right now.
They're still a first-round exit, and let's put this in perspective. If they get the 8th spot, they're going to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anybody up here picking Golden State over OKC? No. Okay. If they get the 7th spot, they most likely are going to get probably Memphis, Denver, or the Lakers.
I think they have a chance against Memphis.
Memphis go fall down. Okay. You picking them up against the Nuggets?
For him to get healthy and to get in some kind of basketball shape, because clearly he is not. We know that he's only played 3 games since Christmas Day, and this is a man that was out of shape when he was playing regularly. So imagine how out of shape he is now, considering that reality that we face when it comes to him. We know that he's a superstar caliber player. We know what he can do. We know that because of their basketball IQ, collaborating together, they'll figure out whatever they need to figure out. But it starts with him being available. The best ability is availability.
Bob, you obviously have been at the helm of teams that have multiple superstars here, like the Lakers are trying to do with LeBron and Luka. Does it take a star maybe taking a back seat? Someone needs to help the other assimilate?
Yeah, it does. I mean, look at Miami when they had Wade and LeBron and Bosh, and they stumbled out of the gates. Everybody overreacted when Curry and Durant had to figure it out together. Kyrie and Luka last year, they didn't even make the play-in. They didn't make the play-in, nothing, out of the playoffs. I think they're going to figure it out, Malika. The question is, can they figure it out in time for this season? And LeBron doesn't have 5 more seasons to go. Everybody says he's going to play next year. That's great for us, great for the game. He doesn't want to forego this season. So if you're a Lakers fan, if you're in that organization, you're saying, we want to compete this year, but that's hard when you put 2 stars together. Talking to Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, he said Luka has been a fantastic teammate thus far. He's focused on his teammates. Sometimes you can overdo that, but he's also showed great discipline. A lot of the conversation out of Dallas when he got moved was he didn't work hard. That's not what I'm hearing from talking to them. He's putting all the work in.
Well, I mean, he don't have a choice. He don't have a choice but to work hard, right? Because when you think that something can't happen to you and it happens to you, then all of a sudden it's a wake-up call for Luka Doncic. And you're right, we honestly can't answer this question until Luka get in basketball shape, until he get in shape and have some level of accountability. Now, it got me thinking, right? Whoa. What did Nico Harrison see behind the scenes that made him say, this can't work with Luka? Right? A guy that not only is the general manager and running things for the Dallas Mavericks, but a man that also worked at Nike for years.
19 years.
Been around Kobe Bryant, been around LeBron James.
Jordan.
Been around Jordan.
Yep.
So he knows greatness and he know what.
You know what. You're wondering what he thought. You know what he thought. They kind of said what they thought the problem was.
I know that. So now this is on Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and the Los Angeles Lakers. The question is, who's going to hold them accountable? Is it going to be Magic Johnson? Is it going to be James Worthy? Is it going to be Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss? Who is Luka going to listen to? Until we see some action take place and him getting in shape, we honestly can't answer this question.
I want to say this real quick. This is absolutely positively no knock against Luka Doncic. I'm not talking about him right now. I'm not talking to him. I don't want to hear a damn word about all of this stuff about how he's working hard. Stop. The kiss and the tushes and then stop it. He just got there, okay? He hasn't even had an opportunity to pass gas. I don't want to hear anything about that as of yet. He got to get back on the court. He's got to get healthy. Let's see what he does. When the Lakers want to jump out and say he's working hard, I mean, he's giving all his. What would you say? Would you tell us if he wasn't? Would you sit up there after just acquiring him in a trade where you trade away Anthony Davis? Would the Lakers come on national television and say, you know what, we don't like his work ethic? Would you say that already? Of course you wouldn't. So stop it. Let him get healthy again, get back on the court, and then we'll see.
But in fairness, I do want to get some details on exactly what it is that he is doing right now as we bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what more can you tell us about how Luka is trying to integrate himself with L.A.?
Like, the integration has been a lot around his leadership and also working through the most significant injury of his NBA career, the 1.5 months that he missed with a calf strain. And in talking to people in that Lakers organization, in the front office, they've been impressed with how he's been able to try to learn about his teammates on the fly. They feel like he's very LeBron James-esque in the way he's tried to really get to know his teammates. He wants to make them better. I know what Stephen A. said about his work ethic and what everyone at the desk is saying about his work ethic, but listen, he has been putting in daily work on the court, in the weight room, even to the point where he went to Cabo over All-Star break, and sources told me he worked with Scott Brooks every single day while he was there. The Lakers found him a gym, a facility to work out in, and he did that. Listen, guys, his work regimen, his work ethic, and leadership, those are the 2 attributes that are going to signify his Lakers era in L.A., and we're going to see it on display starting again tonight.
So working out with Scott Brooks, the Lakers assistant coach. Shams, thank you.
Nobody said a word about his work ethic. We're saying for the Los Angeles Lakers, We don't want to hear you talking about that as of yet because he just got there, Shams. So when I'm thinking about Rob Pelinka, I'm not talking about Luka. I'm sure Luka's working. I'm sure he's trying to get himself in shape. I'm sure he wants to get out on the basketball court with LeBron James and show his skill sets. I'm saying that Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers, he just got there. It ain't like you would tell us if he wasn't working hard. So just stop it. Let's see him play on the court, and it'll be the judge. At the end of the day, we're talking about a star who the only players in NBA history who have averaged more points in a season are Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. That is the type of star that the Lakers can get in Luka Doncic once he fully recovers.